Spanish and English for the Moorish Alchemists, Part 40, moorsoflight.com. It's your boy Marcoelboriken, my teacher, trade, and profession. And we are getting into it in Paulo Coelho's El Alquimista from Spanish to English. El libro que más interesó al muchacho contaba la historia de los alquimistas famosos. The book that was most interesting to Santiago, the young man, was of tales historical of famous alchemists. Eran hombres que habían dedicado su vida entera a purificar metales en los laboratorios. Creían que si un metal se hacía hervir durante muchos años, acabarían liberándose de todas sus propiedades individuales y en su lugar solo quedaría el alma del mundo. There were men that were dedicated their whole lives to purifying metals in laboratories that if they were to put them to boil for many years, they would end up liberating the properties, stripping them individually, leaving them nothing but the soul of the world. Esta cosa única permitía que los alquimistas entendieran cualquier cosa sobre la superficie de la tierra porque ella era el lenguaje por el cual las cosas se comunicaban. This would be this only thing permitted alchemists to understand whichever they wanted upon the face of the earth, because that was a language of which things were communicated. Ellos llamaban a este descubrimiento la gran obra, que se componía de una parte líquida y una parte sólida. This was called the discovery of the great work that was accompanied by being part liquid and part solid. No es suficiente observar a los hombres y las señales para descubrir este lenguaje, preguntó el muchacho. Is it not sufficient to observe the men and the signals to discover this language? Asked Santiago. Tú tienes la mania de simplificar todo, respondió el inglés irritado. You have the mania to try to simplify everything, responded the Englishman, irritated. La alquimia es un trabajo serio. He's like, alchemy is a very serious job. Precisa que cada paso se siga exactamente como los maestros habían enseñado. Each step that was taught by the masters are to be um, followed exactly. El muchacho descubrió que la parte líquida de la gran obra era llamada elixir de la larga vida y curaba todas las dolencias, además de evitar que la alquimista envejeciera, how you say, el alquimista envejeciera. So it's saying that Santiago discovered this part liquid grand work, also known as the elixir of long life, that cures all types of ailments, and it will also um, avoid anyone growing to ever grow old, envejeciera, envejeciera, to grow old. Y la parte sólida era llamada piedra filosofal, and the solid part was called stone of philosophy, philosopher's stone, philosopher's stone. No es fácil descubrir la piedra filosofal, dijo el inglés. It's not easy to find that philosopher's stone, said the English. Los alquimistas permanecían muchos años en los laboratorios contemplando aquel fuego que purificaba los metales. The alchemists spent many years in laboratories contemplating which fire would purify the metals. Contemplaban tanto el fuego que poco a poco sus cabezas iban perdiendo todas las vanidades del mundo. They spent so much time with the fires that by little their heads were starting to forget every little thing that was vain of this world. Entonces, en buen día, descubrían que la purificación de los metales habían acabado purificándoles a ellos mismos. They noticed that on a good day, discovering this purification of the metals would also purify them. El muchacho se acordó del mercader de cristales. Santiago recalled the crystal merchant. Este le había dicho que había solo bueno limpiar sus jarros, pero que ambos se liberasen también de los malos pensamientos. He had said to just clean the crystals and the jars, but both were liberated from bad thoughts. Estaba cada vez más convencido de que la alquimia podría aprenderse también en la vida diaria. Now he was convinced that you could learn alchemy as well in daily life. Además de esto, dijo el inglés, apart from this, said, or to continue, said the Englishman, la piedra filosofal tiene una propiedad fascinante, that the philosopher's stone has a fascinating property. Un pequeño fragmento de ella es capaz de transformar grandes cantidades de metal en oro. A small fragment of this stone could transform great quantities of metal into gold. A partir de esta frase, el muchacho quedó interesadísimo por la alquimia. Apart from this, Santiago was extremely, super interested uh, by alchemy. Pensaba que con un poco de paciencia podría transformarlo todo en oro. He's like, in a little bit of time, he's like, I could transform anything into gold. Leyó la vida de varias personas que lo había conseguido. He read about the life of various people who were able to achieve this. Helvetius, Elias, Felcanei, and Geber. Helvetius, Elias, Fulcanelli, and Geber. Eran historias fascinantes. Todos estaban viviendo hasta el fin de su historia personal. They were all histories that were fascinating, and they were all living their personal legacies to the fullest. Viajaban, encontraban sabios, they traveled, they found wise men, hacían milagros, they would do miracles delante de los incrédulos, in front of the people that were disbelievers. Poseían la piedra filosofal y el elixir de la larga vida. They were in possession of the philosopher's stone and the elixir of long life. Pero cuando quería aprender la manera de conseguir la gran obra quedaba completamente perdido. But when they were trying to figure out this grand work, they were kind of completely lost to learn the ways, the manners, right? Pero cuando querían, when they wanted to learn the manners and the ways to actually achieve the grand work, they were completely lost. Eran solamente dibujos, intrusiones en código, textos oscuros. So there was like dark text, and they were only in like a form of like instruction by drawings and codexes, like in codes. So that was the Englishman putting us all onto game in terms of alchemy and him teaching Santiago more about the history of alchemy pertaining to the discoveries that they were able to find together while essentially trading off life experiences, bringing up the emerald tablets, and they also talked about how they would actually like strip the alchemy to all the way down to its they would strip down metals all the way down to what they would describe here as el alma del mundo. So all the way they would strip metals all the way down to their property to be able to I guess mix, or I would imagine that they were smelting and welding and creating all types of currencies. That's what it kind of sounds like. But a lot of wisdom here, and this talks about the philosopher's stone, piedra filosofal. There's a word in here in Spanish that I was struggling with. Envejeciera, to get old, right? So they're talking about this elixir of that's created by alchemy that could help you live forever. I mean, live to look young forever. Um, yeah, and I think that that's pretty much it right there. So, a pretty cool run around of the history of alchemy and how it's kind of done according to the Englishman. Santiago in this lesson is super interested in how this is done, and they trade off between the Englishman and Santiago. They trade off all types of stories while they're traveling. Um, it's getting pretty good because now, as the caravan is moving along, they're building a little bit of rapport and chemistry with each other, but at the same time, there's still conflicts going on even to this day in terms of like territories. But and this time, these conflicts are directly related to Berbers, Bedouins, Moors, alchemists, all types of thieves, gypsies. So this is really cool, right? And this takes place on route to um, the Egyptian pyramids from Morocco and Andalusia. So I hope that you guys enjoyed just chilling out with me and reading El Alquimista. I have it labeled as part 40, and we're gonna get into part 41 and kick off essentially the developments of these travels and see where it goes between Santiago and the Englishman and the caravan. So thank you guys again for just chilling with me. I really appreciate all the positive. Sometimes the negative commentary is kind of necessary for me to revalidate truths that we've been talking about for on record 100 years now, since 1920. So thank you guys again. I'm gonna enjoy this day like you should, and have a fabulous day. We're gonna get up tomorrow with Alchemist 41.